Hi, I'm Nicole White, and I am a hairstylist for 10 years.
You've been a hairstylist for 10 years. What have you learned? What have you done in those 10 years?
Well, Nilsa, in the last 10 years, I've been working in salons, gone to school, Paul Mithcell. I've taken numerous classes, cutting classes, coloring classes with various artists in the industry. I work on set sometimes. I work, do bridal parties. I do talk shows. And again, I'm in the salon, 3 or 4 days a week. And I also like to go out to shelters and help women get back on their feet and help to beautify them for their new endeavors in life.
You said you went to Paul Mithcell. You're a student from Paul Mithcell's. Explain that a little bit. Elaborate, because I really don't know much about that.
Okay. Paul Mithcell is a school for beauticians. It's in Temecula, California. I was on student council there, and student council basically is having a voice for the students at the school. I was on the design team, meaning I went out to different fashion shows for the school, and it was basically a way to get our foot in the door so that when we did make it to the real world as a stylist and a licensed stylist, we could have experience in working in these different types of industries. So we would do fashion shows, we would do pageants, we would do prom parties for high schools where you kind of give the high schoolers ideas about hair for when they go to prom and graduation. And I did things like that on a design team. I was part of the take-home team, and the take-home team is learning about product and what product does for hair, and that each individual product is different for the hair, and it provides something different. So Paul Mithcell, as you know, has been around for many, many years, and they have over 100 schools over the nation, and they are very, very passionate about people and hair and just the business in general.
You say they're passionate. I've known other hairstylists that are so awesome. One of them, she continues to learn. She continues to keep learning things about the new styles. She must go around maybe 8 to 12 seminars a year. And she's always talking about Paul Mithcell. And I haven't heard any other student talk about their schools as Paul Mithcell. What's so special about Paul Mithcell?
It's the culture of Paul Mithcell. Paul Mithcell has a culture like no other. They teach you not only about the industry of beauty, makeup, hair, but they also teach you how to survive in the real world, how to be out there and work and be happy at what you do. They teach you how to run a business. They teach you how to manage businesses. They teach you how to talk to people and be a part of someone's life that's in your chair. So not only are you learning how to deal with people in the chair, you're learning to deal with people outside of the chair. And as we know, as we say with Paul Mithcell, why it's so special, because people that come out of Paul Mithcell, we're one big family. We're learn one way and one culture, and that is to make the person happy inside and not just on the outside.
Okay. What I'm trying to find out is if you students, you ladies or you hairstylists, you know a lot about anatomy, hair anatomy, something that a lot of beauticians don't know about. Do you learn that at the Paul Mithcell School?
That's correct. We do have theory classes, and in our theory classes, we have about 22 chapters that we go through. And one of our chapters is anatomy, and it's probably the biggest chapter. It's about 130 pages long, and we learn everything from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. Every bone, every organ. We learn what products affect the body, what products doing to the body when it's taken in through the hair shafts. about your cuticle layers. These are things that we learned through Paul Mithcell. And yes, we are like, I want to say like no other school, because they get really in depth in anatomy. We study through the My Lady's book. The My Lady's book is probably, I say, the number one book on the market for beauty. And it covers a range of beauty, because we go again from manicuring and pedicuring to facials to makeup to hair. So all this is encompassed in one book. And with that time of being in school of 1,600 hours, you have to learn all of that and pass the test and be able to know this, because you can't work in the industry, especially when you're working with someone's hair that has to do with their cuticle layers and things that some people don't understand about hair, that just putting the wrong chemical on somebody could really do much damage to them through just a little bit of chemical you put in their hair, from allergic reactions to even diseases. So anatomy is very important, and Paul Mithcell really pushes that on their students to understand the hair and not just do the hair. And that's why Paul Mithcell is so important to me, and again to probably a lot of my Paul Mithcell sisters and brothers, because they just teach you so much, and it takes you beyond just styling someone's hair. It takes you to another world of saying, you know what, I know hair, not just styling it. I know what it does, you know. I know what this, you know, chemical I put in their hair, I know what it's going to do to them. I know if I put this oil in their hair over a period of time, they're going to have hair growth where they have hair loss. So that's what I got from Paul Mithcell. I got, what I say is a good education. I got a great education.
So you were lucky to find Paul Mithcell and become a student from Paul Mithcell School.
Yes.
Because I go out, and if I'm looking for a hairstylist, I basically look for a Paul Mithcell person. I feel very uncomfortable going to just anybody. So when you told me I first met you and you said you mentioned Paul Mithcell, I said, oh, thank God. Oh, that is so great. So how did you decide to go to beauty school?
I decided to go to beauty school because I had gone 20 years ago, and I was a manicurist, and I went to Pomona Cosmetology 20 years ago, and I noticed that over a period of time of me doing hair, that I just always, over a period of time of doing nails, I would always notice that I was drawn to hair. And I couldn't keep my eyes on my hands because I was looking at someone's hair that was in the salon, because I had the opportunities always to work for full service salons. So I did nails inside of a hair salon. And so I was around it all the time. And I found that I was just drawn to it and to how it looked. And I would watch these people come in over maybe a 6-week period of time, and their hair's grown, or I see that, you know, the color's changing, and just I wanted to get my hands in it. And so I said, that's what I want to do. But, you know, life happens. And, you know, I was having children, and I was married, and I couldn't at that time go to school. So what I did was I just started, you know, talking to the stylist there and just asking, is there anything I can do without a license so I can just get my hands in some hair? Because I like this. And I want to try it and really see if that's what I like. And, you know, they opened up, you know, opening arms to me and said, hey, yeah, why don't you help me do this, or blow dry, or wash the hair, and I'll teach you this. And I come to find out that I just love doing hair because it made people happy. It made them excited. And that's the best feeling in the world.
So when you started washing hair. You enjoyed washing hair?
Yes.
Okay.
It was giving someone a massage and watching their eyes roll back in their head while they're laying back in the chair. I mean,
it's part of your passion.
Yes.
To make people feel good.
Yes.
Great, great. So you started doing the washing, and then you graduated into doing the braids?
The extensions. I started with extensions because, again, being in the salon, you have to be careful with certain things you can do without a license or being an apprentice. At that point, I wasn't, because, again, I was a manicurist, and I was just kind of helping out just so I could get my hands in it, and I did. But I started out with extensions because extensions are big in Hollywood, and at that time, and they still are, a big part of everyday life. And I started working with beading and braiding and getting the foundation ready for the person who'll come in and actually do the extensions, the add-ons, you know. And I started there, and it was fun. And I'm going to tell you, when someone comes in and they don't have but a little hair, because maybe they've cut it off and decided, oh, you know what, I want my hair back now. Or they've had medical issues. And it's very draining. It's depressing for some people to come in, and you never know what the situation is. But again, that's me. I like to know what the situation is. When they come in, I'm not just looking for them to sit in my chair and let me style your hair. I want to know why you're here. Why are you here to see me? Why did you come to me? Because that's what I want to fix. I want to help them with that issue. And so that's what I did with the extensions, and watching people come in, and we got cancer patients, and we got, you know, people that just always had, you know, bad growth hormones and just didn't produce the hair, or they were losing their hair. And to be able to put extensions in and have a variety of different extensions that can work for anyone, that's the most amazing feeling, watching them get up, and they just give you this big hug, and you just feel it. You feel it, that they're so happy that you've done something. So when they walk out that door, they feel amazing. And you see them walking across the parking lot, and they're shaking their hair, or, you know, just walk out the door, and it's like they're a new person. It's just, you know, I keep saying amazing because it is amazing. It's the best feeling ever. And I love getting that feeling and that rush time after time after time. And they say it's a job. No, it's not a job. It's not a job at all.
You know, when I first went to a Paul Mithcell student or a beautician, she first sat next to me and she says, before we cut your hair, I need to find out, who are you? Why do you want this? What do you want? And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not in a psychology class. You know, I'm not going to see a psychologist. And at the end, I realized that what I told her, it helped her cut my hair and how she cut it.
Exactly.
So that's also taught at the Paul Mithcell School.
It is.
That is so awesome.
It is.
It makes you hairstylists very different than other ones.
Yeah. Can I tell you a little story? I had a lady come in, and, you know, she came in and she looked like she had a rough time. And I set her down on my chair, and her son and her daughter-in-law were there, and they said, yeah, we're bringing my mom in today. We need to style her hair, give her a new look. She hasn't had her hair styled in, oh my, I can't even remember, maybe when I was a kid. And I said, really, you have beautiful hair? She says, yeah, it's gray, and it's just, oh, it's horrible, and I don't know what to do with it, and I just don't really want to do this salon thing. And I said, don't worry. I said, let me help you. Let's see what we can do with this, because you have beautiful hair. And if I can put some color on it, you would love it. And she said, oh, okay. So we got to talking, and I was asking her, I said, so tell me, what is it that you don't like about your hair why you don't want to come to a salon, or why you don't want to color? She's like, because it's just a lot of work, and I don't have time for that, and I don't want to do that, and it's just, oh, it's too much work. I said, but I'm here to help you, and I'm going to do the work. So tell me what you don't like about your hair. And then she says, I don't like the color. I don't like that it's too long. I want it above my shoulders. And I said, really? Okay. I said, now tell me, is there anything you like about your hair? She's like, I like the density, if that's what you call it. I say, it is, exactly. I said, you have beautiful texture and you have beautiful hair. She said, yeah. So I said, okay, well, let me bring my color book out, and let's see what we can look at and see what you like. So I brought my book out. We looked through the book. She found a color she liked. It really just enhanced what she already had. We were going to do what we call all over color, and we did that, and it was just wonderful. And so I just said, okay, now we're going to get started here, because I had to think about it for a second, because I wanted to make sure that I talked to her in a way that made her feel comfortable, because she already stated she was very uncomfortable being there. She didn't want to be in a salon, And so I just had to take a minute and, you have to kind of, look away, think about it, come back, because you want to make them feel comfortable. Because that's what I'm there for, to make them feel comfortable. So I went and started mixing up the color, came back, and I just kept saying, there's just something, I think there's something else going on. So we start coloring our hair, and I kind of walked her through what I was doing, so she just knew what I was doing and she felt comfortable. And she said, if I didn't have to bury my husband tomorrow, I wouldn't do this. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, yeah, I've been married 43 years and I'm burying my husband. And he loved me just the way I was. But she said, I just wanted to give him something special. And my son and my daughter-in-law said that would be great. And I said, well, thank you for allowing me to help you give him something special. Because I can see you loved him dearly and he loved you. I said, so we're going to get through this and make it as beautiful as possible so that he'll just be so smitten to see your new look. And she said, I think he would. And I went on to complete her hair, but Nilsa, it was a feeling you just, you choke up, because it was something that I felt I was really making an impact in her life.
You were.
And up until this time, and I felt I needed to talk to her a little bit more, I never knew that she was having to, lay her husband to rest. So that's even more of a reason, and that was in beauty school.
Wow.
And that's more a reason I feel that I'll be doing this the rest of my life until I just can't wash another head.
So
because it's wonderful.
So what did you do? You cut her hair and you dyed her hair?
I colored her hair and I
was
cut
happy?
it. And she was, her son came back and said, wow, Mom, I love it. Dad's going to love this.
What other kind
amazing.
of hair have you done? Or do you cut and you dye? What other things do you do?
I am a color specialist. And what I mean by color specialist, because everyone uses specialist, just mean that I cocktail colors and mix colors that's just right for you, for the person you are.
So that's what you call cocktail.
Yes. I cut hair. I highlight hair, which is different because, again, you're putting bleach in the hair and you're lightening the hair. And, again, that takes the hair through a lot of different, the hair goes through a lot of different changes. I do chemical treatments on the hair. I do regrowth for the hair for people that are thinning by doing maybe the nioxin treatments.
How do you do the regrowth? What is it that you put on the hair?
It is a treatment that I use.
Uh-huh.
It's a 3-step treatment.
Is it with proteins or?
It's with keratins and proteins and a lot of minerals that's based in the product. And it restructures the hair growth. So what it does is it goes down to the cuticle layer, attacks it from there to make it stronger for it to grow out healthier and not break as it's growing out.
Oh, really?
I do cancer treatments, meaning women and men that have gone through cancer treatment, they come to me and I start again keeping their hair healthy. So that means when they start regrowing their new hair, they're not using things with sulfates and things that are harsh. We're taking care of that hair and like it's a newborn baby's hair, and you're not putting a lot of chemicals in it like a newborn baby. You wouldn't put chemicals in a newborn baby's hair. So again, with these cancer patients come in, their hair is delicate and it needs nutrition and it needs care and it needs that love, and that's what I do for them. I give their hair the love and the nutrition that it needs so that when it starts growing back, that it's growing back in its most healthiest state that it can.
Do you use those treatments in a certain amount of time? I mean, do you use it for a month, or do they have to come back and redo it, or does it just take one treatment?
No, it takes numerous treatments, and you would start out in the salon, and what I do is I teach you how to use the treatments, and it's something you can take home and do yourself at home. But it's a series of treatments that you have to do daily. It's normally a 2 or 3 step program to the hair, but it's a very simple program. It's just washing your hair and putting the solution in, and then I have them come back every month, 30 to 60 days. so I can look at the hair and see if we need to change the formula, because there are different formulas out there, and we kind of take it from there. So each person is individual, case by case.
So you do the cuts, you do the dyeing of the hair, and you also do treatment to help the hair grow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else do you do?
I do extensions, which are hair extensions, which basically hair extensions come in a variety of different procedures. You have tape, you have beading, you have sewing, you have bonding, and all these different procedures that you have are all different depending on the hair, again, case by case, to give people long, beautiful, luxurious hair that we all want, and sometimes we don't want, but it gets, in the industry, people use it every day because you have all these beautiful stars out there, and one day they're long, one day they're short. It's because of the extensions, and that's what we have now, and it's the most amazing thing that you can just put on, hair for one day. I make custom wigs for people. I do it for the Cancer Society as well. I've done custom pieces for them for different cancer societies and cancer groups. And again, it all comes back to, for me, what I get from it is making somebody feel good, seeing the smile on someone's face. And to me, that's more rewarding than anything else in the industry.
What's the difference? I mean, how do you choose what type of extension to do? Example, you said you bond, but
Correct.
you also glue?
Tape.
The
Bonding
tape.
is tape. Bonding
Okay.
is glue. Tape in is where you sandwich the hair together. And beading is where you would put beads onto the hair and then sew the hair onto the beads. And then you have your sew-ins, which are done by a braid. And then you have your custom wigs, which can be sewed down to braids, so that you can keep them on daily. They're all different because it's different textures of hair that mimic the natural hair. And so that's why they're all different.
So it all depends on the hair that the person has, that you would choose what type of extension to do.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Correct.
Because I know sometimes people will just go and do, you can say, well, I want some extensions. They won't ask you and they won't think what to do. They'll just either just do the sewing because that's all they do, or they'll do the bonding because that's all they do.
Yes.
But you do different types depending on the
Yes.
hair.
I am certified in over probably 8 different methods. And within those 8 different methods, there are other methods come from that, that method that you can, mix and match. Some people I have to sew them on top and put tape in on the bottom. Some I may have to bead on top and sew in at the bottom. Maybe I have to just do different because of the texture of the hair and what they're dealing with. I deal with people with alopecia, where you may have a patch of hair and no hair anywhere else. So within that patch of hair, I have to do something with that patch of hair to make it cover up where they don't have hair. So it's different methods that we take in order to do that.
Because I had a friend that she did her extensions and they were braided. They sewed it, but they were braided. They came off, they came apart, but then she started losing her hair because of the, I guess the braid or the sewing.
Well, let me explain something to you, and this is where I want to say people get scared when they hear extensions and sew-ins. They're not losing their hair from the procedure. They're using their hair from their lack of taking care of it when it's done. It's just like anything else. When you get bleach in your hair, or you get highlights in your hair is now, all the pigments taken out of your hair. That hair is going to be brittle. It needs conditioning. It needs treatment. So with extensions, the same thing. Someone's sewing something in your hair. Again, you have to take care of it a certain way. When you leave, you are given information on how to take care of that. And the problem that I find with a lot of clients is they don't follow the instructions, or they don't come back again in the time that they need to. And then their hair will start breaking because it starts to thin on them. So it's not the procedure, it's the lack of taking care of the hair properly that makes the hair break. So,
and you do recommend certain types of products
yes.
for them to use in order to prevent breakage or loss of hair.
And I tailor product to people's budget. Not everyone can go into a salon and pay that. That's why, a lot of people call me to their homes because they can't afford to go into the salon and pay the salon prices anymore.
Oh.
And that's what makes me unique is I made it affordable for people to have their hair done, just like the Hollywood housewives in the luxury of their own home or wherever they want to have it done. I made it affordable for them because that same treatment can be done in the home. It's just somebody wanting to go out there and do it. And again, it's not, my reward is just making people happy and feeling good about themselves. So if I have to go in the house and do their hair, and because they can't pay $200 and $300 to go in the salon, then that's what I do. And that's what I enjoy doing.
Again, that's your passion.
It is my passion.
Bring happiness.
Yes.
By changing their hair.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So what is your plan for the future? What are you planning? Do you have any plans?
I do. I have big plans.
Please.
My plan is always to educate first and to continue educating myself. And I educate myself through other people. And I educate myself through other stylists. I educate myself through courses to keep up with the latest styles, the latest techniques. And by doing that, it allows me to go to someone's home, save them from having to go to the salon, and know that they're getting the same professional treatment at home without spending the money in the salons, because with our economy today, a lot of women can't afford it, and housewives and just basic people, they can't go on the salon and get those great styles because it's expensive. And I bring those great styles to them without that extra expense.
That is fantastic. You have mentioned that you would like to help people that are homeless, women, or also senior citizens.
Correct.
In the future. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes. Ever since I was in school and we had to do what we call our wish board, or a dream board, I've always wanted to go help women get back on their feet, because there's so many of us women, and even men, and I don't like to just specify women. I like to say men too, because hair is on men and hair on women is hair. And it's something that makes everyone feel beautiful about themselves. So, as I say with the shelters, I would like to go into the shelters and be able to help women that are trying to get back on their feet, and they need makeup, and they need hair, and they need their nails done, and their toes done, to take that next step to get back into the population and feel part of the world again. Because a lot of us sometimes, through unfortunate events, are taken out, or feel like we're taken out, or like we're not seen anymore because we don't feel beautiful anymore. Right? We don't feel that we're worthy of being part of society. And unfortunately, society, it has to do with looks. It's just the way it is. And I want to be able to help those women that feel like they're not part of society anymore get back into society and say, I'm here, I'm me, yes. Look at me.
So you do the hairdo, cut, color, and would you be doing also makeup or not?
I do dabble in makeup. Unfortunately, I don't get a lot of makeup, but I am educated enough into it and have done it enough to do it if someone wants it. I try to concentrate on hair because hair's a lot. A lot of people don't understand. Again, it just goes beyond styling. It goes beyond the health of it, the integrity of your hair and keeping your hair strong. So I don't do a lot of makeup, but if there was someone that said, hey, can you do my makeup while I'm here? Yes, I'll do your makeup while I'm there. Okay. I try to really focus on still being a manicurist, because first and foremost, I was a manicurist first. And again, that's keeping your hands nice and healthy and natural and feeling great, and hair.
Mm-hmm. You also do pedicures?
I do.
That's awesome.
I do. Nothing better than having nice feet.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of these shelters, when they're, especially for women. I don't know much about the men, but I know that they're helping women out there get back into the working world. So they're, cutting hair, putting makeup on. They teach them how to dress so they can go out there and look for a job. And that's what you would be involved in.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
That's what you'd like to do?
Yes. And that's my, that's my future path. It's getting my foot in there and being able to help.
But you also mentioned that you have done people in the commercial life.
In the industry,
yes.
I have. And I have clients in the industry to this day. But it will never take my passion away of giving back to someone. Because, again, we always have to give back.
That's right.
And I will never stop giving back to society in a way that I can. I want to do my part, and my part is through hair. And I know I can give that back, and that doesn't cost me anything to give somebody a smile on their face with something that I'm talented in. It's my hands and education.
You also mentioned that you like to do hair for senior citizens.
Oh, you remember that? Yes, Nilsa, yes. Yes. Because, we have a lot of senior homes, and I say in my area I have a lot of senior homes, and they're forgotten about. And I learned that through school because we did have a senior day, and people would bring the seniors in, or the community centers would bring the seniors in, and they'd get their hair cut for $5. And I listened to their stories, and a lot of seniors are forgotten about, and I want to help out. So I like to go into senior centers, and unfortunately a lot of senior centers have salons on their premises. However, there are a lot of families that have called me and said, hey, my mom doesn't want to go downstairs, and you deal with people with dementia and just a lot of other illnesses, and I can go to them. And that's the freedom of it all. I can go to anyone I want and make them feel good about their hair and educate them, and it doesn't matter what age you are.
That's right.
I have little ladies still putting those wigs on and teasing that hair up, and they're, and they're bedridden, but they want to look pretty. Mm-hmm. And I can do that. And I don't have to ask anyone to do that. I can do that because that's what I want to do. And I like that.
And what else are you planning to do in the future?
Continue to just get better at my craft. I don't really know what the future holds. I just keep getting better every day at my craft.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
And you also said that you do dabble in young people's hair?
Yes. Yes. And what I mean by that is I'm just learning now new techniques for younger children that, when you talk about me being biracial, and I am biracial, my mother's Creole, French Creole, my father's Puerto Rican. I have biracial children. They have different textures of hair. And having 5, it gave me something to play with, being 3 girls and 2 boys. So I started noticing, at that point, I did start noticing people would bring their kids in, especially biracial children, not knowing anything about their hair, and what to do with it and how to take care of it, and a lot of damage because no one knew how to take care of the hair. I learned that, a lot of stylists nowadays, or even in the past, and when I was growing up, the first thing they say, put that relaxer on that hair. And relaxers are just deadly. They're chemical. It's the worst harsh chemical that you can use on a child's hair or anyone's hair. So I learned things through now keratin, and learning about keratin and how it repairs the hair and it takes care of the hair and keeps it really well conditioned. And I started using that on children's hair after I had done much research on it, and I started with my own child. And I noticed how beautiful her hair is and how much it's grown. And so now for me, it's been more like I've been really trying to push that in the industry to children to get them away from the chemical treatments and bring them into something that's a little more healthier for the hair, that we all just thought adults did that and not the children. Because when it comes to hairstyling, kids are kind of left in the, on the back burner. They're just come in, curl their hair and let them go. But that's where it starts when they're young. So when they grow up, they do have education and knowledge of their hair. So when I get a child in my chair, I educate them as much as possible so that they know about their own hair. And they, and they can start, because again, we mold them at a young age, and that's where I start. So I start teaching them about their hair at a young age. And again, it just feels good. It just, it feels really, really good.
So I noticed that your daughter's hair is so pretty.
Thank you.
And I know it's not a perm, but her hair looks like if it was permed because of the conditioning that
Relax.
you gave her.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And that's the keratin. And I was glad you got a chance to see my daughter's hair. And she has that really light sandy brown hair, and it's lacks moisture. And that's the problem with, I want to say, ethnic hair. Is we lack moisture in the hair. And if we just all, I sometimes wonder, we all took this course. Why don't we all know that textured hair is just the lack of moisture, and it just needs to be moisturized and deconditioned? And why don't we pass this on to our clients and tell them, just condition the hair and give them the things they need. Give them the tools to take care of their hair. I don't know why a lot of people, stylists, don't do that, but that's my goal, is to teach you about your hair, to educate you.
Well, it seems that that's the difference between certain hairstylists and you as a Paul Mithcell student. You tend to care more about what you can do better than just say, well, let's do a quick perm, get them out of here, got the money, next. And you, with your passion, you care about them. It is not the money that matters as much as just doing a good job.
You're right. And I care beyond. I mean, I do care about my people in the chair, and I do care about every client that sits down, no matter what race, nationality, that they are. I just care about the integrity of that person's hair, because I know, and I've seen it, that through the proper hair care and styling, that it really changes a person.
It could make a big difference.
Oh yes, it does. It does. Because when my hair's not done, I feel down and out. And when my hair's done, I feel beautiful.
I seen you with it.
And I'm always trying to explain why it's not done. And I don't want to do that, because I love having my hair done.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Anything else you're planning to do for the future?
I'm just, I reach out to everybody that wants to know about hair. I want to reach out to people that want to teach me more about hair. I just want to touch as many lives as I can in the time that my hands are still working. And that's a reward for me. It's a reward for my family, because my family has said over the years, Mom, since you've been doing hair in the last 10 years, you have been such a great person. Because I'm in something I love, and that feels good coming from 5 kids. And now I have my little 4-year-old granddaughter to enjoy and play in her hair too, because she has a lot of hair. Right? So yes.
Yeah, that's good. So what you're saying is that you plan to help the homeless, help the senior citizens, educate, and the children, not to harm their hair, and do better cuts and everything. You just better yourself.
And don't forget the Cancer Society and the cancer patients.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, you have the big cancer societies, and then you have the ones that's kind of under radar. And I want to start with those. Yeah. The people that don't have the, resources, and I want to get into those that really don't have those resources, and I can help them.
You have a lot to do for the future.
I do. I love to stay busy.
That's awesome. That is really great. Hopefully, while you're doing that, you get your own studio someday. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. That's a lot of work, but it would be awesome.
Yeah. When you give, you get returned.
Yeah,
So-
one head at a time.
Yeah. That is fantastic. It was really great talking to you.
Thank
And
you,
you letting
Nilsa.
me know a lot of information about yourself.
Thank you.
Before we close, would you like to say anything else?
Just for all that's watching, give me a call. My name is Nicole White. My number is 951-956-8330. And I'm here to listen to you. And hopefully me and you can take a hair journey.
And don't forget, everybody, she is mobile.
Yes, I'm very mobile. I'll come to you.
That's right. With a big smile
Yes.
and a bag full of tools.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is...
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
What is your phone number?
951-956-8330.